Welcome to more car buying lessons with Judge Norbeck in Allegan County.
All right, this is file 231986SC, Kimberly Gwynn versus Cook Auto Sales. This is a small claims case. In other words, we are here on this case trying to resolve this matter short of involving attorneys or involving any kind of jury trial. If we proceed here in small claims, the parties are giving up their rights to use lawyers or to have jury trials. So if you're both ready to perform or to proceed here in small claims, first thing I'm going to do is swear you both in. Go ahead and raise your right hands. Anybody who might be testifying. Swear or affirm that any testimony you give here would be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
I do.
I do.
All right. So I don't get too much in terms of information ahead of time, but it's my understanding this involves the purchase of a vehicle.
Yes.
All right, but this is not a new vehicle. This was a used vehicle.
Correct.
2009. When was the sale?
Thursday, August 3.
Of this year.
Correct.
All right. And so, ma'am, you are suing because why?
Because we took the car to a mechanic to have the power steering fixed, and they said the car is completely rusted out on the bottom. It's non-fixable and dangerous to drive.
Yeah, I can see that looking at the photo.
Yeah.
Okay, but ma'am, why would you be suing over that? You bought the car, right?
Yep, they said that the car was sold with this vehicle has no significant damage or problems.
Ma'am, did you inspect the car before you bought it?
No, because I was buying it from a mechanic.
Okay, but ma'am, this is just a classic case of that's on you. You have an affirmative duty if you're going to pay money for a car to inspect the car, test drive the car, look at the car. Some people bring a mechanic with them if they don't know about cars to look at the car before they would purchase it. So you bought the car, then you took it to somebody who knows about cars and they said, this is a terrible car, you shouldn't have bought it.
Correct.
And you're trying to sue the seller over that?
Yes, because the car is a non-fixable and non-drivable, and they said it was ready. The ad says it's ready to go and it has no significant damage or problems. Isn't that false advertising?
Well, no, ma'am. Did the car drive off the lot?
Yes,
So
but it's
ready to
dangerous
go.
to drive and non-fixable.
Yeah, I can't believe that anybody who didn't look under the hood wouldn't have seen what shape this car is in. How much money you pay for it?
$42.70.
Did you blue book it before you bought it?
No, I don't think we did. But
how many miles are on it?
165,000. The salesperson called us. We had numerous conversations with the salesperson, and on September 22nd, she even called and said she felt bad and she was going to offer to buy the car back.
And who was that?
The salesperson's name is Stacy.
All right, I have
And
a
she was
Linda here.
She was a representative of Cook's Auto. Her name is on all the paperwork.
So to this day, do you know what a 2009 Saturn is worth in fair condition with 165,000 miles on it?
No, I do not.
It took longer for him to ask the question than it did for me to find the answer. For trade-in value, it's going to be $331 to $750, and for private party, $1,697 to $3,202 for a fair condition 2009 Saturn, 167,000 miles with a Michigan zip code. Oh, and she paid $42.70 for it.
Because I doubt, I mean, I don't even know if it's worth $42.70, even in
We
this
paid
condition.
for a
All
license
right,
plate, we
Cook
never
Auto
set the
Sales, what do you
plate.
have to say about this?
We sat there for 2 hours. This is Linda Cook. Anyway, we sat there for 2 hours with her while she discussed on what she was going to pay for the car as is. At first, she wanted to pay over the asking price, which was started at 5,000. And then she changed her mind, drove it, said she wanted to buy it as is. And
Now, when you say
kept
as
on-
is that anywhere in the paperwork?
Yes, it's on the RD 108. It's on damage disclosure for her. We also made sure she knew what we do. We
All right,
put
hold on one
fenders,
second, I
wood.
just want to grab some readers. Sorry about that, my eyes are old enough that read the fine print. Yeah, vehicle sold as is, no warranty implied or intended. Man, that's sort of the magic language that you need to make sure that you're thorough and diligent in your looking over the car before you purchase it. In other words, here's the way this works. I don't want to get ahead of myself. If you buy a new car, then and then you take that car home and it turns out to be a lemon. There is protection under the law for that. Essentially, that's considered to be you got tricked. And even if it's not a new car, if it's a used car, but it's still under warranty, then you still have some guarantees. But once you're talking about buying a car that no longer has an extended warranty on it, or if you ever see that language as is, essentially what that place is saying is you could drive it off the lot. If you can't drive it off the lot, you probably could turn around and say, give me my money back. But you're essentially saying, I'm buying this car with all the problems that it may or may not have. That's why you need to be, sort of thorough when you're picking out a car. Did you look under the hood?
Yeah, we looked under the hood and we didn't see anything.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this first picture
A lot of that's under the car.
The frame.
under the car.
It's the frame.
A lot of it's hard to see unless it's on a lift. Those pictures were taken when it was on a lift.
And I just want to talk to you. So Cook's Auto Sales, is this new and used, or you just do used?
No, we just do used. And we purchased the car as is from the insurance company. And usually if it's really bad and you can't drive it, it's no good. They put it as a salvage title. This was not a salvage title. It was a clean title from the insurance company, purchased as is.
Do you know how much you paid for it?
Yeah, well, not
And
exactly.
or if I went to KBB right now, what would they tell me I'm looking at for a 2009 Saturn Vue with 165,000 miles on it?
Close to 45.
Okay. And do you know what they're talking about? That you have a salesperson there who talked to them about this car? And
Yes,
offered
well, I
them?
was there when, oh, sorry. I was there when the salesperson was speaking with her and trying to lower the price on us. And I was the one that was okaying for her to do the lower price.
No, I mean,
that-
subsequent to the purchase, when they called back and said, hey, this vehicle's in real bad shape, and there was an offer to buy the car back from them.
Oh, no, it was never, I never authorized Stacy to say we'd buy it back. Stacy was authorized to say if they wanted to bring it here and we would check it out or have someone check it out. And we would either that or have them come back and purchase a different vehicle. That would be a possibility of something we would do. But as far as buying the car outright back, no, that was never offered.
It was offered. Stacy did call an offer on September 22.
Well, the problem is buying the car back, that statement right there doesn't really do us any good. I mean, she could mean we'll buy it back for $100.
True.
She told, I was the one she called about that, and she told me that she would pay the full price, and she said that she had personally saved up 3,600 and was gonna call back when she got the rest.
Personally saved up 3,600? What do you
Correct.
mean?
Like, she said that she felt bad about the situation, and so she was saving up to buy the car back, and she told me that she was currently at $3,600.
That wasn't us.
Well, is Stacy there?
No.
The problem is if
Stacy
you
no
have
longer.
an employee that's making, you know, promises to purchasers, that is, you know, the business is held responsible for that. I'm just not sure what we can do without them here. Did you, and so you said at current time, your offers to the purchaser was for them to come in and you would take a look at it to what end?
Right, well, we weren't sure. We weren't sure what was really wrong with it, so that's why we were offering to take a look at it.
She wouldn't bring it in.
She didn't want to bring it in, so.
We were told that well, for one, the car was in such bad shape after we took it to the mechanic that he said it really shouldn't be on the road at all. And we were trying to let Stacy know what the mechanic was telling us, but she didn't want to listen to the mechanic. And when we told her,
What stopped working on the car that you went to the mechanic in the first place?
We were having the power steering fixed.
Okay, but is the car currently running?
The car,
yes,
yes, the car drives. It's just dangerous to drive. We don't have a plate for it. They were supposed to send us the license plate. So we don't even have a plate for it.
we can't really even legally drive it anyway right now.
We paid for the plate, but didn't.
Yeah, I was
was
gonna say,
mailed
I mean,
out.
that's easy enough for me to look at here. Yeah, they paid for a plate. What happened with that?
We never received it.
I know, I'm asking
Oh,
Cooks.
sorry.
Yeah, I have no idea. It was mailed out. So she should have received it.
We did contact Stacy and told her we didn't receive it and she was gonna look into it,
We never heard back.
but we never heard back.
Yeah. Well, that's something by now you should just talk directly to the Secretary of State whether or not the plate was issued for that registration, because it may very well be something that happened in the mail. But yeah, I mean, you paid the fee that is essentially Cook sending it in to Secretary of State saying, oh, okay, this car should now be registered to you, send them a plate, you put the plate on. But that may already, that may be done with Secretary of State. You haven't talked to Secretary of State?
No, I wasn't sure who was supposed to call, either them or us. Since they were the ones who filed the paperwork. I wasn't sure.
Well,
Usually if
I
you
will
don't
tell you-
receive something. Oops, sorry. If you
Go
don't
ahead.
receive a plate in 30 days, they usually call the license bureau, the people that purchased it. 'Cause after 30 days, there's nothing that we can really do for it. It would have to be the
It's-
state to find out what happened.
Gotcha.
That's what I mean by the Gwen, you probably need to contact Secretary of State at this point
Gotcha.
because
Okay.
it, you know. And then to be clear, if they're like, well, we don't have anything that was filed from Cook Auto Sales about this vehicle, then there is an issue because I can see that you were charged and paid for that. But I'm just not sure. The problem may be neither of the two parties in front of me, and it could have just something happened in the middle there. But here's what I tell you is the problem as far as us being in a legal situation. In other words, you guys, had you done this where you bought the car from your neighbor, you know, that's one thing where you just sort of do this over a handshake. But you guys have signed off on paperwork here that, I mean, it clearly has, it's not like it's hidden in the paperwork. The biggest type on this whole page is your name and vehicle sold as is, no warranty implied or attended. So essentially what that means is that's sort of caveat emptor that it would be on you to have noticed any defects or anything wrong with the car. You took it for a test drive?
We sure did.
All right, so it was running fine when you bought it.
Yeah, we just
It's
didn't know.
essentially the bodywork, the frame.
It's the frame. Yeah, we had no idea
And
that,
fuel line.
and the fuel line, we had no idea it was dangerous to drive.
We wanted to take it,
But-
get looked at during a test drive, but Stacy, the car salesman, went with us, and we don't really know Allegan that well, and we weren't sure where the nearest mechanic was.
Oh, you mean when you bought it?
Yeah, when we
were
took
test
it for the
driving.
test drive.
But what I mean is, as far as a legal setting, i.e. here in small claims, that's a pretty clear contract. It's not a complicated contract. It's a very simple contract. It essentially says you're paying X for this automobile and there are no guarantees beyond that. And therefore, in terms of what I can do, that language is sort of, that's purposely in there for a place that sells automobiles because it protects them from just this scenario that's in front of us. So at this point in time, I would not have a legal basis that I could issue you any sort of damages based upon the contract that you guys signed. This is unfortunately one of those lessons. I mean, if the car's running, the car's running. You can always try to sell to a third party or just keep driving it till you no longer feel like you should drive it. But in terms of ordering any damages, I wouldn't be able to do that based upon what I have in front of me at this time. So there is nothing further for us to do. I would not be awarding damages in this case. Now, that does not mean, this is essentially what we would call a dismissal without prejudice, meaning if new evidence were to come to light, you know what I mean? You could do this again. It's just that where we're at right now with the paperwork that was submitted to me, I would not be able to award you damages and the case would be over as far as my ruling today here in small claims, all right? Now you would, because we had a contested hearing, you can say, I don't agree with that. I want to go to the Court of General Civil in front of the district court judges, but you'd have to ask for that within 7 days of today's date. That window of opportunity closes. And you'd have to come in person and do that because you have to do it formally in writing. You understand your rights on appeal?
Yes.
All right. And just to let you know, just in case you hear that, Michigan doesn't actually have a lemon law. Lots of states have that. But even in the states that have a lemon law, it doesn't cover used vehicles that are outside of their warranties. It's only a protection for new vehicles and vehicles that are still under warranty, but a 2009 or 165,000 miles, there's no warranty. It would still be under.
Okay.
Well, I guess that's not true. There's some, and the cooks would probably know this better than I would, but there's sometimes a powertrain warranty on transmission or something that goes past 165,000.
Usually if you purchase one, you can get it.
Yeah. But you usually have to buy those separate. And that's the point of it. It's a
Yes.
whole separate contract to protect you. But at this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and release parties. We're all set for what we need to do here today. Do everybody understand their rights on appeal?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.